It comprised a bucket and a basin on top of a metal stand. This hand washing station is the invention of Madame Veronica Bekoe. The one-stop shop of soap and running water has been designed to reduce the spread of communicable diseases like cholera and typhoid. In 2020, the Veronica Bucket gained global recognition when COVID-19 struck. It became one of the major protocols to control the spread of China's deadly Wuhan virus, a virus which, according to the World Health Organization, has affected over 75 million people, with close to 7 million people losing their lives as at March 12, 2023. Mrs. Veronica Bekoe says her discovery and invention of the Veronica Bucket was as a result of a problem she identified in her field of work as a biological scientist at the lab with the Ghana Health Service in the 90s.
This water shortage, we've had it from time immemorial. And so not all the laboratories had running water from the taps. And I realized that in facilities we didn't have running water. They were just using bowls or a bucket and a cup to fetch water and wash their hands, which wasn't good enough. Because to properly wash your hands, you should use running water. Fancy picking your the cup with one hand, the contaminated hand, fetching the water. How do you wash both hands? Somebody has to pour it for you. And it's not every time that you have somebody around. So we need to find ways and means of getting running water in facilities which didn't have the water running from the taps. So somehow I came up with this idea that if we could fix a tap to any robust container, it could generate running water.
So she designed the prototype, and it was just a simple bucket with a tap attached to an aluminium utensil, which was used in selling Hausa cocoa, popularly called akwala jaisun.
The cocoa sellers containers, because then that was what was around. Something that came to mind that, well, this is working for the cocoa sellers, so let's try it. Unfortunately, the aluminum sheet is thin. And then we had only the metal taps, which were quite heavy. So after, in fact, the first time we even fixed it, it didn't work out. You know, the water just splattered from the joint. And we had to go back and do it again. And we got it right. But we realized that after some time, it became loose again. And we had to, you know, do it over and over again. So at a point, when the plastic containers started coming up, and the plastic taps too, we decided that we might as well try those.
Today, the Veronica Bucket, an invention of 79-year-old Veronica Bekoe, has become even more essential for areas where potable water is not readily available, especially in the peri-urban areas in Africa. It's been 30 years since Mrs. Bekoe invented this global sensation, and her efforts have paid off. She shares with GBC News some of the awards and recognitions she has received over the years. At the 2023 National Honours and Awards ceremony, Mrs. Veronica Bekoe was decorated with the Companion of the Order of the Volta for outstanding service to Ghana. In an interview with GBC News, Mrs. Bekoe thanked all who have helped to attain this height. She had a word of advice for the youth.
No contribution is too small. And like you rightly said, you don't have to be popular, you know, somebody known by everybody that you are a guru in your field to come up with anything. Whatever you are able to come up with, please persevere.
Never doubt your potentials, because you are not too far from becoming the next Veronica Bekoe, aka Veronica Bucket. My name is Gifty Ej, reporting for GBC News.